So today, we're going to talk about how to build a brand as an artist in 2024, especially in a day and age where you kind of need to. So first off, why is it even important to do so? It allows you to find the right community. It allows your viewers and audience to remember you for you. And also, it allows you to showcase your style, which then showcases your voice as an artist. So before you even get into the aesthetics behind your brand or style as an artist, there are some things that are behind it, such as your interests, your values, and you just simply expressing the ways that you like communicating to an audience. Because at the end of the day, art is just a form of communication, and the art itself is just the vehicle of the communication. So usually the elements or the ingredients that usually go behind having a brand are, first off, having a main character, a main topic, a main theme behind the project itself. Then second is the tone, the vibe. Third is the supporting props, elements, kind of like more of the details. Fourth is the choice of stylization behind all of those above said elements. And then lastly are any repetitive details, which are kind of like the one thing that promotes some sort of consistency throughout your brand. So for example, every year I change my art style in my comics. People will recognize my comics based on the style and the way that I deliver certain stories, themes, and messages, which usually revolve around self-confidence, relationships, your relationship to yourself. And rebranding is important because it keeps your stuff fresh, but you are always allowing yourself a new opportunity for new audience members to come and support your work, who maybe might have not liked some of your previous styles, and it's totally fine. But the more that you kind of rebrand yourself, the more you may have the potential to reach out someone who might have not been into your previous branding. So for example, when I created comics, the meaning and the values behind my stories for the most part stay consistent, but the physical elements are usually what kind of keeps changing. And that's why physical branding is so important, because you can always be telling the most important message someone else out there needs to hear. But if it's being delivered a certain way and that person doesn't really resonate with it, they might pass on it. But if you rebrand yourself, you can always tell this story or message again, and maybe it will eventually reach out to audiences that would not have otherwise had that exposure to your work. So unfortunately, we still live in a day and age where people still judge a book by its cover. So in a way, it's still important to really package the way you deliver your art in a way it really will reach out to the audience that you want to resonate with. So that's why I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Packdora, for giving us a little bit of assistance and options in ways that we can continue branding ourselves as artists, especially when it comes to selling our art.
So for those of you who don't know, Packdora is a 3D packaging design tool that makes crafting designs for products so much more efficient due to the fact that you can just do it from a web browser and not need to download all of these separate apps just to do so. You can basically design any 3D product idea you have, download a variety of die lines, templates to reference, and visualize your products in real life and create mock-ups for them if you either want to promote or market your idea. This is super helpful for artists like me who don't really have the graphic design skills, but if I'm working on my own business by myself, things like this are very helpful. So on Packdora, there's a multitude of different products that you can choose from and can either design or create mock-ups for. And I know since I tend to do a lot of books on my channel, I'm gonna just not do a book for once and probably design a box. So once you do that, you have the option to create new files. But the thing that's great about Packdora is that you can literally just edit the template or the die line from the browser itself. So for me, I have these illustrations I did of the night sky because I love my clouds, I love my sparkles, and I love my nighttime. And in my comic Succubushes, the night sky is kind of a big theme in the story, as well as this dark purple color scheme. So for anyone who kind of receives this box and is familiar with my artwork, there's some sort of association behind the stories and messages behind my comics that comes along with this package when they receive it. So it's not just any regular night sky. For those who actually follow my artwork, they kind of know what it means, which then creates a different feeling for them when they then then receive the box. The night sky is kind of a big theme in the story, as well as this dark purple color scheme. I designed this box in Procreate and really kept the design simple because at the end of the day, I feel like you want to minimize the amount of obstacles you may face when choosing what colors to use for different flaps or avoid any complications along the way. When you create a box, there are different flaps and folds you might have to work with, and if you have a lot of different colors, it might make it a little bit more complicated to tell how each flap or fold may align with the box inserts and whatnot. So for me, I just kind of kept it simple to a dark purple, light purple, and a yellow just for simplicity, and also because, again, that's kind of what my comic already stands for, and the comic color palette itself already is pretty limited. So you want to try to even keep things like the packaging of your products and artwork to somehow similarly align with the art you already make, and I think that sometimes minimizing the amount of colors you use for the packaging helps further clarify and decipher the coloring that stands behind your brand. So after you're done creating the artwork, you can just literally upload it onto the browser itself, and the thing that's also so great is that they have elements and other graphics that you can then insert into the box via using Pactora on the browser. So if you're missing graphics or just need a filler color that, matches a color within your pre-existing graph, you can just put it there to fill in the blank. And what I also like is that you can continuously view your product in different angles with their 3D rotational tool and see how it looks when you open and close it, because I think one of the most important things about branding yourself as an artist is you want to think about your customer's experience when they actually receive your art. I personally feel like a lot of artists would take advantage of the packaging so that it represents their style and their brand. So when you think about being in their shoes, receiving your product, you want to think about what does it look like and how it would feel if you were to open this box. And I guess for me, a lot of artists in my community or my niche tend to really like things that are really cute, really different, and semi-bold. So I liked choosing this really purple lavender design because at the end of the day, this box could have just easily remained its regular craft brown colored box, but no, we're also going to make it purple in the inside as well as the out. So you can also include text and create text, and if you want to create your social handles or something like that, you can also put it on the side or a flap of the box. So after you insert all of the graphics and elements you want on the template or die line, you can also view your product again in a 3D space and put a background behind it just to kind of visualize it in a different setting. Again, you can kind of just open it and close it to see what the customer retrieval experience might look like. And after that, something I think that's really cool about Pactora is you can also put in your product in a number of different scenes. So first off, there are 3D models that you can either work with and create your own type of background with different props if you want to. But if you're someone like me and you just kind of need something to start off with or work off with, there's a selection of different scenes that you could use in Pactora where it will just automatically place your product amongst different props in a background. I know some people enjoy the experience of photographing their product in real life, which I still really think is a good idea, but if you're someone who just needs that quick, rough draft idea or just want to see what a scene might even look like before you actually photograph it in real life, this is a way for you to at least just visualize it. So in a way, it's kind of like storyboarding what your promotional image for your product idea might be. So this is all going to be very important again when you are marketing yourself as an artist. So yeah, this is basically the box that I designed in Pactora, and I thought it turned out really cute. And I think that I would be continuing to use them more in the future for any 3D ideas I have, especially for someone like me who is really bad at CG in art school. This is something that kind of helps take away the friction from that. So yes, thank you again to Pactora for sponsoring today's video. And if you wanted to check them out or try it yourself, you can check them out down in the links below.
Last but not least, Even though you brand yourself as an artist from these like emotional ways and then physical ways via your artwork, at the end of the day, another very important part of branding yourself as an artist is the way that you communicate and interact with your audience. There are some artists I know out there that get very big, and at some point they just begin disengaging with their audience, or in some worst cases, they don't treat them that well. While it's totally understandable that not everyone can respond to every audience member that they have, I think usually you can tell when there's an artist that at least tries. And I think being that type of artist that shows that you do put some effort back into your community is something that will make your brand stand out from the rest, because at the end of the day, we're all in a parasocial relationship. We're all just strangers online, but there are some creators out there who are willing to go to that extra additional step to create that intimacy between them and their viewers. And you don't need to get close or be like best friends, but not being afraid of direct communication, whether if that means through messages, offering some sort of consultation calls to get to know them better, or even like hosting meet and greets in person. That is going to be the other thing that maybe sets you apart from another brand who continues to just kind of be online only. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed today's video and that this helped you to some degree, and I will see you all in the next one.